Today, we're visiting content creator Alexis McMullin in her historic Chicago apartment.
These leaded glass windows are original from 1885, which is so cool.
Weaving together clean mid-century lines with colorful English-cottage touches, Alexis has created a space that feels both modern and traditional.
These chairs are probably my favorite piece of furniture in our whole house. I feel like they perfectly embody my style in one piece of furniture. You have this 1960s mid-century modern, like original kind of form with the lines, and then this really cool, fun, upholstered granny fabric.
But Alexis's home isn't just about her own style. It's about creating a space her family loves too.
My daughter is 5, her name is Penny, and then the other day she's sitting on the couch and she goes, "Mom, I'm so happy you picked the rose print wallpaper." And I just knew that she really appreciated it and enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, you love our home. And that just made me really, really happy.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Alexis, and welcome to my home in Chicago. Come on in. Hi, my name is Alexis McMullin. I am a content creator, and welcome to my home in Chicago. So the story of this home is I was pregnant with my second child, August, and I get really, really sick when I'm pregnant. I have a condition called HG. And so we were in Arizona. My in-laws were taking care of myself and my daughter, Penny, because I was really sick. And I knew that our lease was going to be up in our current place in West Loop. And so I was looking all online for a new place, a new home, and this place came up, and I knew, I'm like, we're in Arizona, there's no way it's going to be up still. Someone is gonna get it because it's perfect, it's amazing. It had all this natural light, and it was a corner unit. Most Chicago apartments have a very similar style, and they're very long, but they don't have light. You have only light coming in through your front windows. And so when I saw this place and it was a corner unit and it had light from the front and the side, I was like, I knew I wanted it. And when we got back to Chicago 2 months later, it was still available. I have no clue how. And so we snatched it up, and that's how we got it. So the details of the apartment, what I was drawn to it was, first off, it's a historic building, and it was built in 1887, which is so cool. Because of its history, it's a very old home. It had all of these elements of history still. So there are stained glass windows that are still original from 1887, which is amazing. It's so cool. I also was very drawn to the original trim. There's a bunch of original molding in the home, which is traditional to Chicago style, which I thought was really cool and just an ode to Chicago. Chicago is extremely very dead in the winter. People are not outside, it's very cold, it's very gloomy, and I knew that I wanted to live on a street that had life so that I could look out the window and kind of just feel a touch of reality when I'm stuck inside all day long in the winter months. And so when we found this place, it checked all of our boxes, and then it was also on this amazing street with amazing shops. It was close to the schools that we were wanting to send our kids to, and it was just honestly a perfect fit. Okay, so this is the living room. This is where we spend most of our time in our family. The wallpaper here is from William Morris. So I picked this wallpaper because in the middle of the winter, it's super dead here in Chicago, and there's no trees, there's no life, and I knew that I wanted to pick something that would bring life back into my apartment while in those winter months. And so this wallpaper is probably one of my favorite assets, I would say, to my home. It's called Rambling Rose, and I love it. So this piece is a mixed media piece. I found this awesome couple online, and they do original mixed media pieces. And when I saw this one, I knew I had to have it. I loved the pink tones. I loved how simple it was, but also very interesting. And yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces of art in the home. So another thing that I love about this home is it has a ton of original trim. So like all the trim is original. This hardware is original from 1885, which is really, really cool that they kept it. And the trim color is from Farrow and Ball, and it is just such a good color. If you ever are in need of paint, Farrow and Ball is your place. As you can see up here, there's like all this beaded detail. It's really fun. These plates I got from an English mother and daughter, and they hand paint them. I can't remember the name of it, but I have a few of their pieces around our home, and they're just beautiful and ornate, and I love how much life they bring to the room. Next, I have this old chest of drawers, and I'm pretty sure, I think it's an English pine, and I thrifted this. Such a good piece, such a good find. I kind of like how it's a little bit rustic, and it's not perfect. I love how you can see the like tiger stripes through the wood here. I just think it gives a lot of character to the piece. I got this on a trip to New York City with my family. That's another thing that I really love to do, is find home decor pieces as my family and I travel, and then decorate my home with them, because it just kind of brings to life our home, and it reminds us of our travels and the time that we spent together. This piece of art is from a company called Heirloom Art Co. They're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, which is where my family lives. And they have a ton of religious art, which I love to shop from, and they have a ton of landscape pieces. So this is from them. So this is all, again, original trim, and Chicago is known to have these turrets. And back in 1885, a lot of the buildings were built with these turrets, with these bay windows, allowing more light for people to have come into their homes. So we are lucky enough to have a home that has these beautiful bay windows, which gives extra room in our living room, and it gives a ton of light. One of my favorite things about these windows is that you can see, it's kind of like the tree-lined street. When you look out, you're not really seeing the homes, it's just trees, which is really, really beautiful. I love this marble piece. It's just a simple table. Sometimes in the morning I will come and sit at this little antique French milking stool and just journal and look out the window. I love to watch all the people walk around and do their shopping. This piece, it is a 1950s armchair from these amazing guys up in Rogers Park. They had so much cool furniture in their house, but they just didn't have enough space for it. And so they were selling this for a steal of a price, and I got that there. Something that I always live by also is have fresh flowers in your home at all times. So I really like to get seasonal flowers. So I went and picked these up this past week, and I switch it out every week. This is our TV console. I love that. So this is like a little bit of it's got like a mid-century modern shape to it, which I really love, contrasted against this floral wallpaper. Again, it's kind of like mixing my two styles together. I'm a big book collector. I love interior books. I love books of all sorts. So when we travel, I like to collect books. So we have a ton of books right here. We have this super cute tiny skirted chair that I got from a estate sale, which I love. I love how tiny it is. The room itself isn't that big, so it's kind of perfect. We have our coffee table here, and then here I have our matchboxes from all of our travels. This is just a few of them. So we recently went to New York, and these are from John Darien. These are from this cute little inn called the Six Bells. These are from the Six Bells. They're really, really cute. We have original Chicago matches in here, and matches from our trip to New Hampshire. So I love having these just sitting out, and then I'll switch them out when we go on different trips. This is also a piece from the English mother-daughter duo who makes amazing ceramic pieces. This light fixture I found on Facebook Marketplace. I loved it. I wanted to have something kind of funky and fun to make the room a little bit more playful. So I went with this, and I think it does the job. Okay, so next we have these sconces. They're actually not wired in. There's no wiring right here in this wall. So we had our handyman, who's awesome, come in, and he put them in, and you would never know. I actually have battery lights in here, with a little remote. So sometimes when I have friends over, I'll just put them on and it kind of sets a little mood. We've had this sofa for probably 6 years now, and I just love it. It has kind of like a mid-century modern twist to it. I threw on some fun pillows here to bring some color and some texture, and it has served our family very well, even though we do have to get it professionally cleaned probably once every 2 months with having small kids, but it's worth it. Here we have these double doors, which I really, really love. Again, original hardware here from late 1800s. I would describe my style as grandma chic with a mid-century modern twist. I really, really love mid-century modern forms. I love the straight lines. I love how clean it is, but then I also love like kind of an English country style. And so when I was decorating my home, it took me a while to figure out that I can mix those two styles together. And when I did that, it was just like everything fell into place. So that's how you can see like the wallpaper. I love having like this beautiful floral wallpaper mixed with some modern, like mid-century modern elements to the home, which kind of just gives it a little bit of a chic vibe. Okay, so this is our dining room. I love that it's connected to our living room, but we have the double doors there, which we can shut at any time for privacy or if I'm working or something. Here is our dining room table. We have had this table for about 7 years. And I remember when I got the first scratch on the table, I freaked out and I was like, oh no, there's a scratch on the table. What am I gonna do? And now I love the scratches because each and every little scratch is like a memory from my kids or a memory from some party that I threw or something like that. And so I like embrace the scratches, which is maybe crazy, but I don't think I'm ever gonna buff them out. We spend a ton of time at this table as a family eating dinner. I am actually a really big puzzler. And so here I have this like little tiny mini puzzle that I've been doing. So I spend a lot of mornings and time here working. This lamp, I wish I knew the brand, the name of it, but I love the shape of it. I love the clean lines. We got it about 8 years ago. So it's got like a beautiful linen top with a brass little figurine thing on the top. We have a mirror here. I had these curtains custom done for my son's room when he was a baby. And then I just felt like as he got a little bit older, they were kind of not fitting the room and I wanted to make the room a little bit more his style and his personality. And so I switched them into here. And I really, really love how they go with the chairs and with the table and everything else that we have. These leaded glass windows are original from 1885, which is so cool. And the unit upstairs actually has a very similar window setup, but their leaded glass windows have been removed because they did not stand the test of time, which makes me so grateful that these have been untouched and they're still going strong. It's really, really cool because half of the year rainbows will come through them at certain times of the day. And so my kids will always be like, the rainbows are back, the rainbows are back. And this whole wall will just be covered in rainbows from like 10 a.m. until probably noon, which is pretty awesome. Here we have that same English mother-daughter duo. They're her plates. They just do such a good job. So I have a few of those there. This is an antique English pine armoire, and it is our saving grace in the winter time. So I'm going to show it to you. This is our craft cabinet, and it saves my family and I in the winter time. I have 2 small kids, 5 and 3, and we live out of this craft cabinet. I knew I wanted to have some kind of space in my home where I could do crafts, and since we live in the city and space is limited, when I saw this huge antique piece, I was like, this is gonna be our craft cabinet. I got a bunch of bins and I filled them with different crafts. Each of my kids have like their own little brain bin activity that we do in the morning. We have nature crafts, we have Montessori crafts, we have like my kids' homework, and down here there's like music crafts and stuff like that. So this is honestly a godsend. We hang up our kids' different art on on the doors. And up here I have stuff for myself. I love to host. So this whole thing is just filled with like all my party hosting stuff. And then here, this is filled with all of my my journals, because I'm a big journaler. And yeah, it really has saved us in so many ways. But yes, we really, really love this piece. I wish I knew the name of this pottery that's on top, but I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and each piece, I think for all three of these white ones, they were $15. And I just liked the shape of them. I didn't know if they were worth anything. And so I had my husband go pick them up, and then I reverse Google imaged them afterwards. And it turns out they are original porcelain of some really fancy brand, and each one of them is worth about $150. I got this pendant light from, I think, Crate and Barrel. I saw some other designer had it, and I loved it, and I just wanted to have like kind of a natural element to the room, something that was a little bit more earthy, and I thought it was perfect. So it's like kind of like a rattan, however you say it, pendant light, and it's perfect for the room. This is my kids' table. I thought about putting it away for you guys, but then I was like, no, it's part of our home, it's part of our family, and we are always here. I have these little tiny Nancy Drew books here. I loved Nancy Drew as a kid. I loved her mysteries, and so I went to a flea market and I found these vintage Nancy Drew books, and I got a ton of them, and so I just keep them here on the table, hoping that it will inspire my kids to want to read them someday. This is where my kids eat their meals a lot of the time. They do their crafts, they do their homework, and it's just really awesome. We love it. This rug, I knew I needed something with like kind of a bold color, because we have kind of lighter colors here, and when I found it, I knew it was going to be a perfect. I knew I either wanted like a green or a blue, but then there was a lot of green in our living area, and so when I found this kind of like teal textured raised rug, it was perfect. And then once we put it in the room, it turned out to just be a great fit. The only thing is you can see every tiny little piece of crumbs or paper or anything, so I'm constantly vacuuming it, which is really annoying. So next up, we have these chairs. These chairs are probably my favorite piece of furniture in our whole house. I found them on Facebook Marketplace. They're total steel. They're original 1960s floating seat cane back chairs. And the reason why I love them so much is because I feel like they perfectly embody my style in one piece of furniture. You have this 1960s mid-century modern, like original kind of form with the lines, and then this really cool, fun, upholstered granny fabric. And I just love it. Every time I look at them, I'm just like, thank heavens I was online that day and happened to see them and got them for such a steal. And yeah, these are probably my favorite piece of furniture in the whole house. My husband recently took up film photography, and he has really, really gotten into it. And so one of our family traditions that we have is anytime we travel, we find a vintage photo booth that has real film photos, and we do family photos. So this is from like one of our trips to New York. My son was actually asleep during it, so we kind of like tried to like put him in the pictures, but he just looks asleep. And then my favorite thing to do is to put these photos all around our home. So you'll kind of notice that we have these film strips, family photos all around our home, which I think is just really fun because it was our traveling, and we bring it into our home, and our kids really love it too. So this is our kitchen, and this was kind of like the eyesore of the house when I first saw the listing online. I was like, what am I going to do with this kitchen? It is so ugly, it is so tiny, and this is a place that I know I'll be spending a lot of time. So it kind of took a long time to figure out what to do with it, but I think that we're finally at a place where I really love it. Chicago is known for their galleyway kitchens, just like this, what you see here, and they're super tiny. And I'm just lucky enough that we have a window in ours. So here's my mini garden. we have spearmint and basil, and I think it just kind of brings life to the kitchen. It makes it a little bit more cozy in here. I can say that I'm getting like fresh herbs from my garden when I'm cooking. We also added this backsplash tile. It was like this really ugly color of backsplash before, and so this is actually peel and stick backsplash, and we added it maybe like 4 years ago, and it's honestly like done the trick. But you can kind of see, you could just peel this off when you leave, which is really awesome. Here we have another little antique that I got from France. It is a cow milking stool, and I love it. It just kind of adds like a little bit of depth to the room. I keep it here. My kids use it if they need to wash their hands, or if they need to help. Sometimes they want to help me cooking, and instead of having one of those like really big kid stands that you kind of see in a lot of people's homes, they just stand on this, which is perfect because it's functional and cute at the same time. Okay, so I love cooking, but I don't know if I'm very good at it, but I always use cookbooks. I believe in using your cookbooks. I know there's like this huge trend to have cookbooks for decorating your home, like putting them out like this and adding like a little piece of decor on top, but I'm like, why not use them? Like, why spend $70-$80 on a cookbook you're not going to use? And so one of my challenges that I've been doing is I use my cookbooks, and it's really been awesome. It's fun to kind of like pull out a cookbook, pick out a recipe. Here I have them tabbed, so like this one I have tabbed here, and then use a recipe. It's a vibe, it's fun, it makes cooking way more enjoyable and way more fun. So that's just been like kind of a goal of mine, is to actually use my cookbooks, and now I collect them and I love making recipes from them. Here is another piece that I love. It's kind of like a mix of my style. So it is this mid-century modern armoire piece, I guess you would call it. And I knew I wanted it to be more colorful in this kitchen. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna paint it. So I painted it yellow, and then I actually just added in the fabric here. And so again, it's kind of like this grandma chic mix with this mid-century modern twist. And every time I see it, it just makes me smile. And the yellow is from Farrow & Ball. I swear by Farrow & Ball. I don't know if it's because it's English and I'm obsessed with England, but it's awesome. So, and then I have more cookbooks that I actually use here. And then we have a religious piece of art here. We are Christians, so I like to have a picture of the Savior in every single room in our home. I am originally from the West Coast, and I came to Chicago for my husband's grad school. He went to University of Chicago 8 years ago for business school, and then we have stayed ever since. At first, it was kind of a hard adjustment because we moved from sunny San Diego, but now I'm a full-on city girl through and through, and we love it. One of the things that I love about Chicago is I love that it has seasons. I love to get dressed, and I love styling myself, and you're very limited when you're in California for that because it's just the same weather all year round. So I really love being in a city and that has all the seasons. I also love being in Chicago for all the restaurants. I love I love the vibe here. I love how it's more fast paced. I lived on the beach in San Diego and it was very slow, and I loved that during my early 20s, but now that I'm in my 30s, I really kind of like the faster pace style of life. So yeah, I was not a content creator when we lived in San Diego. I loved photography, I loved taking pictures, I loved to travel. And then when moving to Chicago, I decided I wanted to start a blog. And so I started my own blog page for traveling with my husband and I, because we would travel a ton. And it kind of just took off, and then I started posting pictures on Instagram. I started posting pictures of my outfits in the city on Instagram, and I really think that being in a new environment in a new city kind of pushed me into content creation more so than it would have if I had started it in California. So this is my son's room. His name is August. He's 3 years old, and he is a fireball. He's super funny. He's the life of the party. He's always happy. And I knew I just wanted to have a room that embodied his personality. So I went with this really bold red color, again, Farrow and Ball, they're so good, and this blue color. And I thought it was just like the ultimate boy color room. I love how it turned out. At first I was like, oh, is this gonna be too much, having this bold red color all on the trim? But it ended up being perfect. I balanced it out with a very neutral color rug here, and then this dark wood piece, and his crib also is this kind of more neutral color, and I really, really like how it turned out. There's a lot of antiques in this room. So this is an English pine wood dresser that I got from a estate sale. It's beautiful. It's great because we have the closet in here is actually my closet, and so all of his clothes are in here, and it's awesome. I actually made this lampshade because I couldn't find anything that I liked. I had extra fabric, and so I just kind of made the lampshade. It's a little, you know, wobbly and kind of silly, but it works. I like to put things out on his dresser that he loves. So right now he's really loving cars. He loves his bear, and most of all, he's obsessed with boats. So he just got this for his birthday, and I like to put it out because then it kind of just makes him happy when he sees it. Next, we have this pillow. It's shoe marker fabric. I had it custom made. I just loved the orange accent with the blue and the red. And I think it goes really well in the room. This here is from Schoolhouse. Again, I wanted to have something with no color because there's so much color already in the room. So I picked this black and white print with the ABCs in the different mountains from around the world, which I thought was really cool. This tiny little kitchenette set was my daughter's from a few years ago. And I wanted to add some more fabric to the room and some more texture and pattern play. And so I purchased this fabric and then made like a little cafe curtain kitchenette. And honestly, I never, ever want to get rid of this because it was so fun to make. And I think it just adds so much character to the room, and I've never seen anything like it before. I love using toys as decor for my children's bedrooms. So here I have just like a tiny little basket with cars and mushrooms in it just to kind of make it playful and fun. Something that I collect is these animal figurines. They are all handmade in Germany, and there's a few different brands that make them. And so every Christmas, they're kind of expensive, and so every Christmas, Easter, birthday, anytime my kids have any type of celebration, they get one wooden figurine in their lot of gifts that they get. And they're really fun, and the kids love them. They're a great Montessori activity. So this crib, oh, there's a story behind it. I really wanted a vintage Jenny Lind turnt spindle crib, but I could not find any color that I loved because most of them are from the 90s and the colors were just horrible. So I found one that was just a really ugly color, and then I brought it to a professional, and he sanded down the whole entire crib, which took hours and hours on end to sand down each individual spindle here. And then I gave him a stain that I loved, and he stained it, and it took, I think it probably took him maybe like 3 months to finish it because it was such a work in progress, but I love it so much. I had this style of crib when I was a baby, and so I think that's just really fun that my son now has a crib that's similar, and we'll definitely have it for all of our kids in the future. It's also great because it becomes a toddler bed. So my son, we tried to put him in a toddler bed, but he kept getting out. So we put back on the siding, but it's great because it transitions into a toddler bed. Okay, so this is my closet, and it is in August's room because we're so limited on space, but I absolutely love it. It is kind of like my little happy place. I love decorating it. I love changing out the styles for the different seasons and moods that I'm in. So I put in the shelving here to kind of customize it and make it into what I wanted it to be. I have all of my sweaters here. I have so many red sweaters. I did not realize it until this year, and I'm like, I think I have enough red sweaters. And yeah, so I have all my sweaters here. I have all of my shoes here. clothing is here, bags, boots. I have all my purses that are up here and all my dresses. This actually goes pretty far back, so all my dresses go all the way back to the end of that wall. And yeah, I love to do my content creation. I do a lot of my outfit reels here where I'm picking out different pieces and then getting dressed. So yeah, this is my closet. Hopefully someday my son doesn't get mad that I took over his closet, but for now he doesn't care. So my tips for people who maybe are renting or living in an apartment would be fill your home with items that are already used and have already stood the test of time. Something that I love to do is scour Facebook Marketplace. I go to estate sales with friends and finding old pieces that have character and that bring more life into a room than just going into Pottery Barn or Crate and Barrel and picking up the newest, most trendy piece. I feel like will really make your apartment your own, and then also it will make it feel more special to you because it's something you sourced, you found, and something that you have a memory attached to it, going and getting it, and nobody else will have that piece. So I would say that. Also fill your home with art. It doesn't have to be expensive art. I personally like to have original art in my home, and so that's just one of my tips, like only have original art in your home. It doesn't have to be expensive art. You can make it yourself. Some of the pieces of art in my home I've actually made myself, and I think it makes it all the more special, and I think it really brings a lot of life to your home. So this is my daughter Penny's room. She's 5, and I think she might have the best room in the house. It is perfect in every way, in my opinion. I think she also thinks that too. We have a vintage Jenny Lind spindle bed here that I checked on Facebook Marketplace for, I think, 6 months before I found the one that I wanted. And when I found it, I got it for $100. It was a steal. It was super close. And I did not refinish it. I thought about refinishing it because it has some like nicks and stuff here, but I really just wanted to keep it the way it was. I loved kind of the rustic look to it. So yeah, that's her bed. I got this print from this woman in Mallorca. She is a Spanish woman and she does a lot of market type of prints. So I got the flower market one, and I love how it has all the different colors of her room and it kind of brings it all together. Next, we have this really big piece here. This was a really big pain to bring up, but I'm happy for my husband and his friends for bringing it up for us. She has her sticker collection, so I just let her do what she wants. I'm like, it's fine, you can put your sticker, so anytime she gets a sticker, she adds it to her sticker collection here. I would show you this, but it's probably really messy inside. But this is where she keeps all of her dress up and all of her toys. And here's where she keeps all of her clothing. This piece right here, Brad gave to me when we were engaged. And I remember it was like the first thing I ever got from Anthropologie. This was probably like 12 years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, something from Anthropologie. This is so cool. And I love it. It has been broken though, probably like 10 times. So if you look closely, it's been glued back together like a million times, but I still love it and we will continue gluing it back together. This is her cute little fabric lamp. I love the pleats in this. It's just really fun. She has her piggy bank, which she has probably at least $100 in there because she goes through all of our stuff and collects all the money. Her pillow, this is from Heather Taylor Home, which I love all of Heather's stuff. And then this is from Project Teeny. They are a England-based brand. Again, they also made this quilt, and this pillow, I'm not sure. And I love their fabrics. I love their quilting. It's definitely like kind of costly, but so worth it. These quilts I've had for 5 years, and a little girl is sleeping on them every single night. We wash them, we put them through the dryer. They're amazing. Yeah, so I kind of layered this on here. I love the layering against the wallpaper there. We have this cute print here of Jesus with kids, and then we have Penny's dollhouse here, which it's, kind of amazing. If you look, it's all Melig. This is just as much for me as it is for her. I'll just get down. I don't know if you can even see it, but it's a little mouse house, dollhouse, and it's perfect in every way. I wish that I lived in this house. It's pretty awesome. Here we have Penny's closet, which I fear is the best closet in the house. She has all of her dresses, her sweaters, her blouses, and she's got her stuffies down here, books, toys. This is her art project piece from her JK years. And I just thought it was so cute and perfect, so we keep it right here. And yeah, her wardrobe is pretty amazing, I would have to say. We did a lemonade stand with friends a few weeks ago, and so we had these little lemons made that the kids put around their necks, and so she wanted to keep it, so we just hung it up there as kind of like a little decor piece. Here we have her windows. So Penny's windows are amazing. She has like this beautiful tree out front, which in the fall you can start to see is changing, and it just becomes golden, and you just see gold when you look out the window. It's amazing. And then we have these leaded glass windows right here, which are original. They're so cool. I wish there was a way I could clean them from the outside, but it is what it is. They're amazing, and they're so, so pretty. I love the like ornate shell right there at the top. Yeah, so that is her windows. She doesn't have a nightstand because there wasn't enough room, but we had this really cute tiny table, and it was originally just like a light wood color, but I painted it this green to kind of match with this green in the poster that we already had, and I think it turned out perfect. If you look, this is little bunny ears, which are so cute. And everyone always asks, where did you get this table from? And it was from Amazon. Simple as that. And then I just painted it. So yeah, we love this table. It works many functions, and it's like a little play area for her. We keep her books that she reads on it, and of course her stuffies like to sit there too. So what I think makes a home kind of come alive and gives it soul is adding personal touches to your home. For example, I collect matches. So anytime we travel, I get matchboxes. I actually have a matchbox here and a little jar of matchboxes right here. And so I love to just keep small touches of like our travels out. It's like an ode or like a personal touch to me or my family or our style or our memories or our travels. I also think having photos of your family and your home do bring soul to the home. I know for a while there was like this trend where you just don't have any photos of your family and it's just stripped of that, but I have slowly been seeing people bringing that back into their home, and I feel like it does add an element of warmth, and it personalizes your home, and it kind of centers it. Now we're in the primary bedroom here. This room has the least light in the house, as you can see, so I don't spend too much time in here besides sleeping, but very cozy bed. I wanted it to just have cozy vibes. I wanted it to be pretty simple, so I found these two nightstands, this one and this one. They're both different, just on Facebook Marketplace. I really love, this one is probably my favorite, which is why I put it out here. So it's kind of like the first piece you see when you look in the room. And then I found this actually on Etsy. It is a vintage, mid-century modern Danish lamp. So it was shipped from Denmark. It has like the plug from Denmark and everything. So to use it, we have to get an adapter, but I love it. It's so cool. We've had that for a really long time. We replaced the lighting that was in here. It was just like a normal light, and then we put in this pendant light. I wanted it to kind of come down to create some like layering for the room, and I think it did that. The next, we have this piece of art here. I love this art. This is an ode to the beach. So Brad and I lived in San Diego before we lived here in Chicago, and even though I do love living in the city now, the beach will always still have a place in my heart. And so I found this really cool painting on Etsy with the ocean, and there's a little sailboat there, and it just reminds me of our home in San Diego where Brad and I met. So basically, like, this whole area is just like a little serene, quiet spot just where I can relax. I love how there's kind of not a lot of light in it, and it's just very peaceful. Here's my mirror where I take all my, if you see any of my Instagram pictures, I take all my selfies. So thank you, mirror. And that is our bedroom. My favorite thing about my home is probably all of the memories that I've made in it. I know that's so cliche to say, but my kids really love our home. My daughter is 5, her name is Penny, and she was kind of in the process of picking out the wallpaper. And I was trying to decide between this floral print, which is William Morris, which amazing, just can't go wrong with William Morris, and this other print. And I was asking everyone, like, which one do you think would be better? And I also asked my daughter. And so she picked the floral, and I still was just like, I don't know. And then the other day she's sitting on the couch and she goes, Mom, I'm so happy you picked the rose print wallpaper. And I just knew that she really like appreciated it and enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, like you love our home. And that just made me really, really happy. So I was just really happy to know that my kids appreciate all the time and energy that I put into decorating this home and making it a home and somewhere that feels cozy and warm and good and happy to come back to. I also love that every time we come home from a trip, my kids are like, our home, we're so excited to be home, we love our home. And I feel like that is just kind of like a little testament of the fact that we made it a home and a place that our family wants to be and spend time. The word home means to me, cliche, I know, but it's family. I think at the end of the day, your home is where you spend time with your family, and making it a place that your family wants to be is probably the most important part of having a home. Homeworthy, it was so great to show you around my house in Chicago, but I have to go pick up my kids from school, so bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.